neutral reverse on an outlet. And I'm getting ready to have an inspection. I don't know which outlet this is on in the breaker. So what I'm going to do is put my tester in, and what I've done is I've barely put it in, and then I make contact with the tester. Keep that there. I'm listening. Go to the panel. There we go. Now this is safe to work on. Now I'm going to show you how to fix a hot and neutral reverse. All right, so we have established that the power is off and this outlet should be safe to work on. So using a flathead, we're going to remove that screw. This will expose the outlet inside of its box. Now, there are two screws holding the outlet in, one at the top, one at the bottom, and it's inside of a housing box. Sometimes this is blue, beige, sometimes it's metal. In this case, it's plastic. So what I'm gonna do is back out the screws and pull this out. Now, even though I have the power off, I'm gonna take my tester one more time and just touch the sides of the screws where the wires run into. So this is a hot and neutral reversed. So now, whoever did this just assumed that white, which is typically neutral and should be on the chrome side of the outlet, was the neutral. But in this case, the white is actually hot. So somewhere in this house, it looks like actually in this box, we have reversed the wires and we've made the white hot and the black the neutral. So all you got to do is you can leave your ground in, but we are going to unscrew, back out of the screws. We're not taking the screws all the way out. We're just backing out a little bit. Now, what I do is you saw that this was on the bottom, so I'm just going to kind of put that to the bottom right. And then I'll take this, kind of stick that up to the top right. Going to back out. This, we're going to take this one and this was on the top, so we are going to put it at the top just so our wires are paired together on the terminal. Just going to go over here. So essentially all we're doing is switching the side that the screws, or the wires were on. Now, what you should do is keep your wires out and just turn the breaker back on, test, and just see what's live. In fact, I'm gonna do that for you. All right, so we have our breaker back on, so these wires are live. So, nothing. There's our live. Now, with outlets, it doesn't really matter. With GFIs, it matters a lot more. But since this one's live, just as a rule of thumb, I'm gonna put it on the top of the terminal. So the two paired at the bottom, this white and this black, I'm going to move each to the top and take what was at the top and I'm gonna move it at the bottom. Now, again, you don't have to do that with standard outlets, but it's a good habit to get into. I'm gonna turn the breaker off and we'll continue. I've turned the breaker off, but as a rule of safety, we're still gonna check. Okay, we're good. So now our black wire was on this side. and I'm moving my white wire to that side. What I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to cut it so it's straight, because it'll be fine. And we're just going to secure these one by one. I actually recommend using a flathead on these, because if you use a drill, and if you're not used to using a drill, you will likely round out the screws. But if you're used to using a drill, then you'll be fine. You just know to kind of be easy on the trigger. So what just happened here is, let me see if I can kind of make this nice for you. When I was screwing this in, it wanted to pop out of the screw. So as I tightened the screw, the wire wanted to push out. So by keeping with this thumb, I kind of pressed up, forcing that wire towards the middle of the screw, and I pushed up as I was screwing it down. That's kind of a trick that helps. Now, we want to remember that we did change from top to bottom. So the one that I had here on the top left is now going to be on the top right. So in this one, what this finger is doing is it's kind of pushing it into place. So as I tighten it, it doesn't want to pop out. Same thing with this one. We'll just find the angle to where it'll sit in where it needs to sit. And then we will tighten it up. Okay, this one's being difficult. There we go. Now what I do is I will go ahead, get this started. Just driving in a little bit. Take your other screw at the bottom. You'll see the one hole in the outlet box where the screw will be tightened into. Sometimes the outlet fixture wants to be like crooked to the left or right. I just kind of like to straighten that out. Okay, now we'll take our outlet plate, go ahead and, it's kind of weird, get this set in there. Yeah, whoever put this outlet plate on bent the outlet plate. I'm gonna go to my truck and get a new outlet cover. Okay, got a new outlet cover. One easy way, instead of trying to rip this, is just take your flathead, swipe, it'll fall out. Usually, we'll have your screw. Let's go ahead and set that in, line it up. Pick which way you want your screw head to face, whether it's vertical or horizontal. It's just nice to have some consistency there. I'm gonna go ahead and stick that in, turn the breaker on, and we'll see if we did it. And just like that, we are correct. The way we know correct is because there is a display here, kind of like a map key, telling you what is what. So the two lights are on the far left, which means everything is correct. And there you go, easy peasy.